talk a little bit from my heart tonight about humility and pride and eliminating those as much as possible in your life. I thought of this sermon, and it was in me because ministering to these people, it's humbling for them. They have to get rid of their pride to receive what we're giving them. And there's different levels as I watch them receive it. In fact, real cool story, you'll see it. I didn't know it was going to happen. We gave that, I accidentally came up on that church and cut down the trees and they could have church. And they're like, oh, God sent you, Crank. And then, so we said, we're going to give you $20,000. So we went back down there. You'll see it this weekend at church. We went back down to give them $20,000. And he was just talking, the pastor was, I couldn't believe we did it. And then we said, he said, he's just talking about, oh, well, we put these people, the elderly people, they had nowhere to live, so we put them in a hotel. I put my credit card down. And then when I went to the second hotel, because that was $1,600, it was declined. And I said, you ran out of money? He said, no, he just looked like fraud because I bought so many hotel rooms and I went over here, so I had to call. But he's going through the whole story. Then I realized he's got to pay for all this at church. So I said, this is unreal. He said, yeah, we'll just figure it out. And I said, well, you need more money. And he said, yeah, don't we all, or whatever? And I said, yeah. So I said, how long have you been pastoring this church? He said, 49 years. So I said, you know what? This check for $20,000, we're going to add more on it. We're going to give you $1,000 for every year you've pastored plus $1,000. So we're going to make it 50. And he's like, oh, so you gave him 50. But I say this with all due respect, that I could feel a little bit because he's been pastoring for 50 years. He's a statesman, great man of God. I could tell that it was a little tough on him. Sometimes they call it the white savior, and it's not good, but it's a true statement that people make. We want it all to go to Jesus, but I could just feel it. He received it. But it's just tough sometimes when you're older to feel like, yeah, I don't need no handout. We don't need no, but they really had to have it. And you all get what I'm saying right now? So no matter who you are, pride keeps us back. The more we humble ourselves before God and the more we humble ourselves before other people, the more people will like you, the more attractive you will be towards people, and the more the Lord will actually bless you because the Bible said, God resists the proud. You got to write that down. God resists the proud and gives grace to the hearer. He resists the proud to the humble. I'm really sorry. I want to apologize again. I'm not incoherent. I had 3 hours of sleep. My ring told me 3 hours on Saturday night. I got 4 hours last night and then 3 hours the night before that. So right now, if I feel like you like, man, you know what? I think as slow as you are, you could run for president. I don't want that. Okay? I'll be good again. Can you all forgive me? I've just been working and cutting down trees and preaching and doing all that stuff. Now, in a way, even, I'll teach from that. In a way, that's humility to tell you, hey, here's where I'm at right now. Because a lot of people are like, oh, no, I'm going to. No. Humility wins. When you can tell people you're sorry in traffic, oh, my bad. It just helps a lot. When you're humble. So God gives grace. I have a question for you, Florida, in here. How many of y'all have seen people operate in humility and they ask for help or apology and you didn't think less of them, you thought more of them because you were attracted to the humility? Right? So most people have life-changing moments, and in those life-changing moments, it actually humbles them. People have a wreck that incapacitates them or have a divorce and all these life-defining moments. You say it all the time. Well, that was pre-COVID because that was a real challenge in your life. Everybody remembers that. Raise your hand if you remember COVID. Yeah. So some people, oh, that's before I had my friend Dwayne. Dwayne says, oh, that's before I had my stroke. He defines things by those moments. I suggest not doing that because it's not, but it's natural to do it. So after a life-changing moment, many times we get humble. But here would be the win for us. I'll talk to you like I would my kids. The win would be trying to find humility, engage humility, before the life-changing moment. Because one, you want things to go good for you. Raise your hand if you want things to go. I mean, number one, you love everybody, but you love you a little more than everybody else. So you want it to go good for you. Raise your hand if you want to go to good for you. So if you want to go good for you, then you want to embrace humility, admitting you were wrong. Because pride makes you appear strong, but really you're broken. I deal with a lot of employees. I talk to HR 10 times a day. I got HR texts going off in my pants 12 times a day. I see employees in the hallway and I'm, hey, how you doing? But in the back of my mind, sometimes I'm like, well, they sure were screwing situations up today, I tell you. But when I look at that, the difference between me and a lot of people is I don't look at them and think, I can't receive from them, they can't minister. No, I look at them and I always tell people today, I said, the person's young. They're going through some stuff. This is not their normal behavior. Train them. Don't blame them, train them. Don't gripe at them, teach them. See what I'm saying? So James 4:10 says, humble yourselves. Everybody say yourselves. Humble yourselves before the Lord, and he will lift you up. Notice that it's better to humble yourself than to be humbled. Humble yourself, a lot better than to be humbled. And then if you humble yourself before the Lord, he will lift you up. When God lifts you up, can't nobody take you down. And when God lifts you up and elevates you and sets you at that point in your life, then the heat's going to hit you, and the problem's going to hit you, and the trouble's going to hit you. And for instance, T.D. Jakes. Most of the people that's ever done anything really good in the world, like I said about Daystar, they've been under attack like crazy, and they've changed the world, okay? Typically, if media says it's bad, just know, oh, it must be good. I just promise you. If they say it's bad, you go, oh, it must be good. This is part of the way I live my life. I didn't even know if that was a good guy, but now I know that must be a good guy. Because the lying media hates them. Because the enemy attacks that which is good. So, in the case of T.D. Jakes, he's been under attack like crazy. He's been so rich for so long, guys. He needs this preaching job like he needs a hole in his head. The man's worth hundreds of millions of dollars. In his own right, with real estate investments, to movie stuff, he launched Tyler Perry. The dude got Michael Jackson money. But he has a call on his life to preach the gospel. So when people attack him, he had to humble himself over the years, or he would defend himself. And you can't really defend yourself and humble yourself at the same time. You have to let your ministry speak for you. The Bible said your fruit, they will know that you will know them by their fruit. I'm going to get it. So if it's oranges hanging off of it, that'd be an orange tree. If there's apples hanging off of it, it'd be an apple tree. If there's pears hanging off of it, it's a pear tree. If there's lying, cheating, stealing hanging off of it, that's a nut tree. Okay? So you know them by their fruit. So for God to raise up, in this case T.D. Jakes, God had to humble him. So he would be humble enough to stay here and not say, look how great I am. Look how awesome I am. I, me. Because the further up the food chain you go, the less it's about you and the more it's about them. Notice even when I came up here, I said, man, let me tell you about my MDs. Let me tell you about Chris. Oh, you know what? My brain said, wait a minute. Now, JP's in Florida. He'll hear that and he'll get his feeling. Let me talk about JP. And by the way, JP's just a little bit smarter because he moved to Florida. But that's not a big deal. They're both unbelievable. But see, when you brag on them, that makes them know he knows my name. He's proud of me. Because the devil's probably telling him, oh, he messed this cue up or he messed that up. Because I got a feeling that the devil's telling all of us the same thing. You're no good. You ought to quit. It's over. You're fat and ugly. You're too short. You're too tall. You're not educated. You're too educated. That's the devil. Anybody ever heard some of those things? So the more we humble ourselves and brag on other people and don't try to lift ourselves up, the more it'll lift us up, because you show yourself to be the better person or the true leader, because a leader doesn't have to tell you, I'm the leader. If you have to say you're the leader, you're not. I said that and it made me think of leader. My grandson, Liam, he got in trouble this week at school. He gets in trouble almost every day at school. And so we all celebrate if we FaceTime him and say, hey, you did good today. You got a little award that he did good. He didn't get a note home for school. So his mom FaceTimed me a couple days ago and said, tell Papa, you know what he did? I said, well, I got in trouble at school today. He got that long hair, he's 4. She said, tell him what happened. He said, well, I was smart enough to the teacher because she said I wasn't the line leader. And I said, were you the line leader? He said, yes. Morgan said, well, no, the teacher said he wasn't the line leader. He said, but I said I am the line leader. So when I said, if you got to tell them you're the leader, it made me think of that story. So I had to tell you. He is going to be a great leader. It's going to be a while, but he's going to be great. Philippians 2, verse 3. Do nothing out of selfish ambition or vain conceit. Rather in humility, value others above yourselves. Not looking out for your own interests, but each of you in the interest of others. And again, this is a good lesson for us. I mean, it's not like today, I know I'm going to talk a lot about for the next 60 days. That's the limit I put on it, because they asked me today, how long are you going to ride this horse? They said a month, a year, a bunch of global leaders. And I said, I have the bandwidth to do it for 60 days. I said, okay. So after 60 days, I won't be talking about it all the time. But I see so many life lessons that we can learn during this time. And when we're out there helping people that can't help themselves, what you're doing is what we just read. We're not doing something out of selfish ambition or vain conceit. Rather, in humility, we're valuing others above ourselves. Somebody asked me tonight. Don did. Don said, hey, did you buy this such and such toy that I've been talking about buying for a year? I said, no. I said, I gave all my money away. All the money that I had. Even today, I was on the street, and we were out of gift cards. We bought a bunch of them, and this person came up to me, and they were so poor, and they had no money, and they weren't begging. They were just telling me their story. And I pulled out all my money, which I think I had, I don't know, $600-800 on me, and I just gave it all to her, because and come to find out, the little kid was graduating. The daughter was graduating school today, her middle school, and they didn't have any money to get her flowers or go to eat or nothing, but she was still going to graduate today. So I said, we're changing all that. And then once I found out about that, I'm like, well, we got to have the church give $500. And then we started talking about limos and all kinds of stuff and mani-pedis, and it was just crazy. And she'll never forget that graduation. So I might not get the thing that I wanted, that I probably don't need anyway. But put that scripture up there again for her to listen. So I want to value others above myself. That's a life lesson. So if you put other people's interests, and I'm not putting anybody on a trip like that you shouldn't have things. If you like cars, you like boats, you like whatever, work hard and get that stuff. But make sure that the stuff doesn't get bigger than a people's need.
Yeah, that's so good.
So if they're hurting and you see hurt, heal the hurt. And we have a philosophy in our family. If we can do something about it, let's do it. And I catch heat. I mean, I live in a little bit of a country town. Last night when I took, everybody's black at my house right now, but me and Ashton. And there's still racism. And we went to Walmart last night, and I got a little black baby on my arm buying size 6 Pampers. And little, Shay's walking by me, and then the brother's walking by. They just walk through, and people, it's just weird looking, and you can just feel them looking and judging. Sometimes if I look at them, they look at me weird. I just look at them and go, "You look just like me, don't you?" This is look just like me. They just hug me. They love me. Well, why would we put everybody in our house? Why would they be driving my car? Why? Because I came from nothing. And I'm still nothing. But if we've got something that we could give somebody, and we can have a little, and they can have a little, we might not have as much, but that's the right thing to do. And it's the way you should raise your kid, because we're all selfish. I'm selfish. You're selfish. If you're an adult, you went to the grocery store and you bought some good stuff and you thought, I'm hiding these cookies in my room because the kids will eat them. There's not an adult in here that doesn't have something hidden that the kids don't know, because you know good and well they're just going to eat it before. Come on, raise your hand. You know what I'm talking about. It is what it is. I got my stuff too. I'm not going to tell you where it's at because I don't want Ashton to be taking my stuff. They eat it so quick, though, don't they? It's like, my God, that was supposed to last all week. Anybody ever bought groceries? Like, that was supposed to be for 3 days. You got teenage boys, and it's gone. You're like, what do I do now? This statement, I want you to write it down if you take notes. True humility opens our hearts to others, both to give and to receive. True humility opens our heart to others, both to give and to receive. Like I was saying earlier, with all due respect, that man had been there 50 years. But I was watching that, and I could feel a little bit of resistance to the receiving it. Now, I have a lot of humility when it comes to receiving. You give me $60,000, I'm going to say, thank you. Because I got to have $300,000 a week, and now we've added a bunch of other churches down here that don't have any money and people. I got a lot of mouths to feed. So if you want me, I'll beg you. I'll come to you for the money because I got to have it. So it's to give and to receive. James 4:6, I said it earlier. God opposes the proud, but he gives grace to the humble. You don't want God opposing you. You want him looking at you going, man, that was the humble thing to do. The humble thing to do is say, I was wrong. Man, I forgot that. Humility. You can never have honor without humility, honestly. Have you ever seen people be honored that didn't have humility? They were like, how great I am, how awesome I am. The more you can balance those two, the better your life will be. There's a song that says, humble thyself in the sight of the Lord. And they say, humble thyself in the sight of the Lord, and he will lift you up higher and higher, and he will lift you up. The more you humble yourself, the less embarrassing it'll be when somebody humbles you. All the time, people, my wife, she tells me, I can't believe you took that. Driving down the road, there's an old orange Corvette sitting out here right now that I sold to Wayne because I needed the money. And I had that car forever. It's not a fast car. It's just an old beater car. It's a 50-footer. It looks good for 50 feet. It's kind of like me. How many of y'all a 10-footer? How many of y'all a 20-footer? Some of y'all look like I'm a 100-footer. Okay, it's 50-footer. And I was driving that down the road outside of my house on the subdivision. The guy jumps out in the middle of the road, so I couldn't have been going that fast. And he just reams me, and Ashton was in the car. I just moved in there. And I just let him yell at me. He's yelling and screaming, guys, drive too fast on this road. I just moved in. I could have said, I just moved in, old man. Burnout, left him, yelled at him. All these things crossed my mind. And just sit there, let him do it, let him yell, let him yell. And paid attention. I wasn't like, yell all you want, don't care. No, yes, sir. I'm sorry, sir. Ashton said, Dad, that's amazing. I go, if I'd have got out of the car and the things escalated, it would be good. And then It wasn't about 6 months later, something bad happened to the guy, and he doesn't live there anymore. I didn't deal with it, and I don't think God gave him a heart attack. I just think that natural things happen to people, and I'd feel bad if I'd have been in the fight and caused it. So what I'm saying is, if you'll start out, and I'm not saying that I'm humble. I'm not like, watch me. That would be quite prideful. I'm saying that I try to identify and go, if somebody is yelling at me, not a lot of people do that. So I could probably use a little yelling. So just take it. They call you something you're not. If you're not that, then you don't have to try to say, rah, rah, rah. You tell me all kinds of stuff. I'm thinking of things right now I don't want to say because it would go viral, but you're this. And I'm like, so not that. Okay? But I don't have to, because your fruit, you'll know by the fruit. So if you do the right thing, you do what's right because it's right, and you're humble, and then when people try to humble you, even if they're wrong, you're humble enough to go, there had to be some truth in there somewhere. Are you old enough to have been, before they told you it was against the rules to spank kids? Anybody had spankings? Raise your hand, spankings. Okay, so there's a lot of that. Come on, Florida. Raise your hand. Okay, so remember when you got spanked sometimes and you did not do it? It was your brother or sister. Remember that? And you're like, my God, I didn't do it. Wasn't that horrible? Like, I didn't do it. Then I had to realize one day my dad was whipping me and I didn't do it, and I felt like violated and it was injustice. It was horrible. Then I thought to myself, how many things did I do that he didn't know that I did that I should have got a whipping for? So technically, I'm 25 short. Come on, somebody. I just walked away going. So be humble enough to understand that pride builds walls and humility builds bridges. So pride will build a wall and you can't communicate. He always, he never, you always, you never. At work, that guy. Because we tend to go negative quick towards people. And if you will tend to stay humble and go positive more towards people, people also will know, like in my case, I bet Petey didn't say that because that's not the way he rolls. But if you're always talking bad about people behind the back, then people automatically assume that you're going to talk bad about you behind their back. But if you'll do what I did a minute ago and you do it, like one of my big tricks is I'll be like, Billy, come here, because Billy didn't even have time to shower. Come here, Billy. Me and Billy working and doing all the ministry stuff, and then I told Billy, I got to clear my head a minute. So I jumped on a motorcycle and said, Billy, you jump on a motorcycle. So we just blew through Sunset Hills and everywhere like 100 mile an hour for 20 minutes a while ago, and we did our deal. But I told Billy, when we were hanging out, I said, Billy, isn't this fun? He said, yeah. And he said, boy, Petey, we got a lot going on. I love his laugh. He said, oh, we got a lot going on. We're at a red light. So we got a lot going on. So, yeah, we got women's conference. Yeah, a lot. Building sets. Yeah. We got the whole town, kind of went down. We got those bricks over here. And we got that. And he started saying all the stuff that we're doing. And Matt over here, we just moved. I don't even know. How many tons you think you would guess of dirt we moved last 400 or 500 tons of dirt at Ferguson to make a ball field for kids in honor of Michael Brown. We're going to start an upward thing. So we got that going on. Then we got a little thing in Florida going on, totally remodeling, and ripped the walls out of the church and built a new church in Florida while Ferguson built, or so what's the name of your church? Fairview Heights. And we doing all this stuff. And Billy says, yeah, we got a lot going on. Look at his hands. Come here, put them over here. Zoom in. This is when you know that we work.
Yeah.
That's the hands of a hungry working man. Come on, Billy. Give it up for Billy, Janice. Come on, Billy and Janice. Yes, they can. So when you brag on Billy for getting dirty hands, every other person on our team is going to go, man, I got to get my hands dirty. I got to get up on that stage. Apparently the win is dirty hands. Y'all get what I'm saying? Pride says, I don't need help. But on the inside alone, you're crying, help me. It's okay to say you need help. Let's all practice it. I need help. Help. Isn't there a Beatles song? Na, 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 help. Help! I don't know it. My dad didn't like the Beatles, so I'm short. Let's try it again. Oh, that was good. Come on, give it up for yourself. That's pretty good right there. Help. I bet on Spotify on the way home, everybody's like, Tesla, play help. Florida, you're fun. You got to be able to say help. Have you ever, and I know I have, sometimes I don't like to ask for help. I got this. Anybody ever said you got this? And you're like, I ain't got this. Help. I was working last night. Got all these boys living at my house. They're good boys. Boy had a truck with a bunch of supplies on it, and it got stuck. It was stuck on this pile of mud, and we were trying to get it out from under there, and I ran up, and they're in the house. I should have told them, hey, guys, I'm going to go outside, and I'm going to need you fellas with me in case I need help. But no, not me. I'll leave them alone. They need to learn something. So now I'm out there trying to get this stupid truck out, and we're pulling it, and the guy's at the Jeep, and he's like, you need a chain. I'm like, I got a rope up there. It's got a big old hook on the end of it. So I went to my Jeep, the one that pulls the stuff out. You saw me pulling those trees out. And I went to grab that rope. When I did, the end of the rope has the chain on it. It came up and just knocked me in the head so hard. And I was so proud because I heard a curse word, but I didn't say it. Come on, somebody. I said, oh. Look at me. Come on, somebody, look at that. Anybody ever heard a curse word, you liar? Put your hand up. It's another day when you hear it, you don't say it. You're like, oh. Man, my head it's still real sore right here. Turned red. I mean, it almost knocked me out. So I ran back. Then when I saw it, I could see the people, everybody in the house. And I thought, look at them in the house. I'm out here bleeding in the house. They're not thinking anything. So I went to the door and said, hey, can somebody come out here and help me? And they're like, are you okay? I was like, I like to knock myself out. And they're saying, well, why didn't you tell? Are you okay? And so now everybody, including my daughter, they're coming out there to help me. Now, I could have asked for help, told them to go get the thing. And because they don't move like I do, they would have probably had good sense, got it out. I wouldn't have heard the curse word. I wouldn't have had to tell my church that I heard a curse word, which is a humbling thing to do. Y'all seeing the whole picture? But if I'd have backed it up and asked for help, I would have got help. But I'm resenting people who don't even know that I needed help. That's good. So pride says, I don't need help, but on the inside, you're like, they ought to help me. Say it, say, I need help. And again, that's why I want you in groups. I want you in community. Proverbs 16:18. Pride goes before destruction and a haughty spirit before a fall. I feel like God's healing somebody in Florida at the church. Somebody has some kind of acid reflux thing, and I just felt it, like the physical symptoms of that. And God said, somebody's being healed right now. If that's you at any campus, grab that right now. Proverbs 16:18. Pride goes before destruction and a haughty spirit before a fall. I don't need to expound. Look at your neighbor and say, do you understand what he's saying? Proverbs 11:2. When pride comes, then comes disgrace. When pride comes, then comes disgrace. Think about that. But with humility comes wisdom. When pride comes, then comes disgrace. My dad was driving down the road on Highway 44 about 10 minutes from here, and it's back when they had car phones, not cell phones. And a car phone, and they were about $3,000. It was an Alpine phone. And he's driving down the road in his new Cadillac, and the phone rang. And when they called him, he picked it up, and he said he felt something. He said it felt so good. I've made it. I'm the man. Look at me. He said as soon as he felt it, he didn't know what it was. And he asked the Lord, he said, what is that? And he said, that's pride. And he said, well, I don't want that because then I fall. So it's a feeling that feels good. Y'all follow me? Let's read it again. When pride comes, so it comes and goes. When pride comes, then comes disgrace. But with humility comes wisdom. So pride is our enemy. Humility is our friend. Humility helps us conduct our lives in a way that doesn't put others down. It doesn't try to make people feel less than. In fact, it'll kick in. Humility will make you want to make other people feel great and you not feel good. I was coming out of a meeting with the president of Argentina, with John Maxwell, which is a privilege. John is one of the greatest leaders of all time. He's written more books than anyone in America on leadership. He charges $100,000 an hour to meet with people if he so does. LeBron James is one of the guys who's on the waiting list right now to meet with him weekly for an hour. And he's like, I was there when he said, tell LeBron I can't right now, but I will. This guy's amazing. Okay. We came out of the president's office. We're driving down the road in this limo that they had police escorts everywhere. We're driving, and he looks at me, and he's always teaching. Can you give me a chair? It's going to be tough because they're connected. Casper, you get one too. Me too. And I'm sitting in a car. Casper, sit by me. He just got off the stage, and all of Remax Real Estate from South America was there. They paid him all this money. It's packed. He leaves. They go backstage. We're getting in the car. We get in the car. And I said, man, that's incredible. Wow. And he says, we both can't be great. Big old hand. Always remember this. When you're up in an audience, we both can't be great. If I'm going to be great, then you can't be great. If you're going to be great, then I can't be. So if only one person be great, then I can't be great. I got to make you great. So when I was on stage, always, I can't be great. They got to be great. So if I go out and try to impress everybody with how many books I wrote and everything I know, it's not going to affect their lives. They'll just be impressed with how great I am. So we both can't be great. So always remember when you're in front of an audience that if you both can't be great, you got to make them great. You got to make them feel like they're smart. You got to make them feel like at the end of don't trick people. Set them up so they understand what you were saying rather than try to be so smart you confuse them. That's stupid. He said, don't be predictable. Predictable is boring as hell. I didn't say that. John said that. Don't be predictable. So while I was preaching a moment ago, and while I'm preaching all the time, I will debase myself to make you feel like you're not too far off and I'm up here and you're down there. I'll tell you, I heard a curse word. Why? Because it's unpredictable. No other preacher is going to tell you that. You're still in shock that I said it's predictable as hell. You both can't be great. Come here, Scott Criswell. You talk about great. Scott's a great leader, okay? Scott's the president. Stay here. Scott's the president of a large company, okay? He can't walk upstairs, but he's incredible. Get over here. So Scott was an Army Ranger, right?
Yes, sir.
So he's the guy that they deployed out of a helicopter with weaponries, and I can't tell you the stuff that I know of people that he's taken out. But they sent him in to take out bad people. Love his stories. He's the type of guy that when he gets on the airplane and the lady's doing the demonstration with the seatbelts, he counts how many seats there is to that seatbelt. In case something happens and the plane gets full of smoke and it goes dark, he knows 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That's that guy. But if you see him, he's just like, Pastor David. This is a dead-on imitation. Just like Joel or Benny Hinn. Praise God, brother. This is Scott. Pastor David. Oh, my God. Man, how are you, man? You never know that he's a seat counter. You never know that he's a marksman. But he's one of the greatest leaders at the organization. Why is he the president of the company and sends me videos? Pastor David, I'm in Japan today raising money for the church. Where's the last place you were in the world? Ecuador. He was just in Ecuador a couple days ago. I'm in Ecuador raising money for the church. I'm like, go, Scott. You're great. Because we both can't be great. Scott's got to be great. Huh? Scott's got to go make the money. But he uses a lot of these sermons and a lot of these teaching points. Why is he here on a Tuesday night? Because he's getting fired up. He's in it. He's always at Weldon. The new guy I just met from Weldon. Come here. I know it's your first Tuesday night. I won't make you say anything. You know Cal? Cal? Car salesman? Yeah? Car, whatever? Yeah. Walk over here. Bring one more person on stage. I'll be done. It's his first Tuesday night. I figure, you know what? Bring him up.
Do it right.
Yeah. So I met him a minute ago. You know this guy. So you just met him tonight. So he goes to Weldon. So I was running into church. My hat's on backwards. I'm running in the hallway, and he's walking down the hallway with Phil, and Phil saw me, and he went to pull him up to meet me, and I was running past, and Phil just kept walking, and I realized, oh my gosh, I ran past Phil if he wanted something. So I said, hey, I'm sorry. It's like 2 minutes till I got a shower because me and Billy were out running the streets real quick to clear my mind. And so he says, oh man, I go to Weldon. It's good to meet you. I've never met you. And he said, he's the guy that runs a Mercedes dealer. I said, oh yeah, he's the guy I was telling you. I said, oh my gosh, yeah, I remember this story. It's just his first Tuesday night. I thought, oh, I'll bring him up and embarrass him in front of everybody. But here's my point. These leaders of organizations, they love coming to our church because they're getting information that can teach them how to say, oh, there ain't nobody better than my service manager. Come here, let me tell you about Bob. There's nobody better than my finance guy, Bill over here. Now, Janet, and if you know their name and you're building up your team, when the team works, the dream works. Yeah. So what you get what you brag on, not what you nag on. So in your life, say, I don't have a team. I'm not a leader. You're your leader. You're leading. Who are you leading? You're leading you. You led yourself in here tonight. Look at your neighbor and say, he's preaching good tonight. He's preaching good. I was looking at this because Austin sent me this on the front row. I'm thinking about Lou and Wendy. I'll shut up after this. Palm Beach Boxing Club is where Mike Tyson fights every day and trains. They go to our church. And these two with Palm Beach Boxing, they do the big events and stadiums and put these big things on. And they own, I forget the name of it, but the franchise rights to a lot of the fighting world. And I suck at remembering all this stuff. But what's neat is that when they got saved, they started coming to our church. And then they just started, because they're business people, they started applying tithing or giving first. And they're like, hey, we're going to give. And so there's another lady at our church, and she's a dream teamer. She's always there. And she's kind of coaching Lou and Wendy because she said, hey, we're going to start giving. And they gave a check for a couple $100. And the girl goes, that's not enough. I'm like, oh, no. She said, you got to tithe. You know, if you make this much money, you can't tip God. And Lou and Wendy started legitimately doing that. They're like, well, I guess that's what you got to do. She said it's not enough. So they start doing it. And then Lou and Wendy, they caught me the other day, and they said they have now, since they started tithing, they have the best financial record-breaking history that they've ever had because of what they're giving. My mic's feeding back a little bit. Am I doing something wrong? So with that said, Casper, stay seated because I feel like you're more approachable to me.
Yeah.
No, I'm just going to stand up. This guy's your height. So think about this. Think about the things that we talked about tonight and how you can apply them right away. Sometimes I've done this to where somebody said something and my wife was in the room or people in the room and I wanted to engage in the activity, but I actually wanted to make about a week or 10 days to do it because I didn't want the people to think that I was doing it because the person just told me to do it. Anybody know what that is? Bring it on. I can tell you. Come on, bring it on. So don't wait to go, no, right away, start practicing it. I do this a lot to my hand, in my mind, as well as sometimes if I'm in a difficult situation. And the reason why is one of my coaches, because I have coaches, a lot of them, from speech coaches to personality coaches, a lot of different coaches. I pay people to coach me. And so you're approachable. And one time I was talking about a guy, he said, if you do your life like this, because I'm a cleric, and you go up to people, so he said, do this. That's a lot. Wouldn't it be easier to control? So when somebody comes at you, don't go, I totally understand what you're saying. I know exactly what you mean. That's a great point. And then go to the whole different direction that you want to go. So sometimes if I'm ever talking to you and I go, oh, that's great. No, you're difficult. Isn't that good? Let's all practice it real quick. Do it like the hard way. Okay. Also, just think if you hit, my coach went, hit him hard. And I'm like, no, see, you don't want to do that, do you? I said, no, because it's going to hurt me. He said, well, it's going to hurt you if you do that. So don't do that. Do this. Just move it around. Because it's a lot easier to say, so you always, you never go, hey, that's a great point. There's a lot of truth in that. And also, not but, because you say but, you cancel that out. So, and also, raise your hand if that makes sense to you. So it helps the medicine go down. So engage it right away. Was that all right for tonight? Hope it was. Lord, you played it wrong well. Give me those real quick. I want to show you something real quick. So you guys stay up here with me. I need the moral support. Something happened kind of cool today. We've given away thousands of dollars. You got those, the video of the lady today. Cause I actually had the pre-thought to say this would be something we could play at women's conference, but I kind of wanted to play it for you anyway because I met a lady today and this conversation ensued about this generator. Look at this. There's $100.
Oh my God, Jesus.
I'm going to give you $100. This is from Faith Church. Do you want $100? From Faith Church.
Thank you.
Oh, wait. We got another person wanting $100. That's from Faith Church.
Thank you so much.
And also, you guys are invited to a women's conference. You see that bus over there?
Yes.
That bus, have you ever heard of T.D. Jakes?
Yes.
T.D. Jakes' daughter, Sarah Jakes.
We'll be here.
She's coming.
I'm coming down there.
Okay, so guess what? You know?
Hey,
Look, it's crazy. We are going to give you she said she needs transportation. We're going to call you, and we're going to set up, and you're going to have private transportation. We're going to have food on the bus for you. Okay. We are going to shout you guys out.
Thank you.
Right? Look at this. You got babies.
I want to go so bad.
Look at this. You got kids? Tell me
yes,
yours. Okay.
We have kids.
Okay.
We have grandkids.
I got grandkids too.
Our generator just went out this morning.
She had no electricity.
The storm blew our power box off of the house.
Okay. But right now, do you have electricity or not?
No, sir.
Okay, so here's the deal. Are you ready, I Am Woman?
I'm ready.
Are you ready? I think what we're going to do, come here, Micah. Micah, I want you guys to go to Lowe's and Home Depot. I just saw them. They're $1,000. Get her address, and by 5 o'clock tonight, you're going to have a brand new generator and buy a chain and a lock on it, because the chain and the lock is going to... Come on, somebody! Yeah, so we got it. We got that problem. This is your day. Aww.
I'm supposed to be at the doctor.
You're supposed to be at the doctor?
I stopped here.
Thank God you did, because the doctor can't do for you what the physician... It's crazy. All right, so get her number before 5 o'clock. I Am Woman. You're just doing good stuff, right?
And here we are. Amen, amen. Yes. We can't wait.
Hey, thank you for watching Faith Church on YouTube, and I want you to subscribe so you can know whenever we go live and post new content. You can also comment below and let us know if the message spoke to you. When you're watching, also know that we want to pray for you. We want to know what's going on in your world, so you can comment below and we'll pray for you. Thanks again for watching on YouTube, and we'll see you next time.